Okay, we're going to look at a more interesting, kind of fun tool, I guess, right now. So far, we've been focusing on just drawing lines and arcs and cubes and that kind of thing, editing them, pushing, pulling them, moving them, rotating them, all that stuff. But this is very boring, right? If this was a restaurant, unless it's called, I don't know, the White House or something like that, where everything is white, it's kind of boring. So how do we add some color or even texture to our model? All right, well, that will come into play with the Paint Bucket tool. So if I click on the Paint Bucket tool, this is the first time that we're going to see a uh, a card or a little tablet part slide over from the right hand side. So if I click it again, or close this, sorry, and we click it again, you can see that it comes out. Okay, so currently what we're looking at is any texture or color that is in our model existing. So the home button right here. Now you probably would be able to guess where these colors are coming from because they match our guy over here. So anything that you bring into your model that has a color already associated with it or a texture would come in with it as well. Okay, so uh, every drawing or every model pretty much is going to start out with nothing pretty much. So what do? We have to bring them in. So if we're going to look at different types of textures, like for example, I might want wooden legs, a wooden tabletop, maybe a metal post, fabric for the chairs. I would have to find them. So that's what the search tool does. So if I click on that, you can see we have various different categories. So for example, if I click on metal, there are different kinds of metals. So for example, if I take this corrugated metal and I apply it to my table, okay, it will be a corrugated metal. Now, right now, because this is a group, it applies it to the whole thing. If I click on the chair, the whole chair is going to go like this, but I'll show you how to fix that in a second. Okay, so you've got all kinds of things like patterns, roofing, stone, synthetic surfaces, tile, water, window coverings like blinds, wood, right? So if I wanted to make the table this wood color, I could click on it. But and then once I've done that, if I go back home, you'll see those start getting added in here. Okay, but what if I want to, I don't know, let's paint this chair separately. Okay, what I would need to do first is I would need to select it. And just like any other editing that we do to a group or component, we would right click and we go edit component. Okay, and so now what I'm going to do, we're just going to spend a minute or so. We're going to get some wood. I want to make the legs wood. I like this reddish color. So we're going to select each of those. Now you can see it can become kind of tedious because you want to make sure that you are selecting. In other words, every side can be selected. Okay, so I want to be able to make sure that I'm selecting every part of it so that when I rotate around, see, I missed this one. Oops. Okay, so that's another problem that we're going to have to fix. Here, let's scroll, rotate, orbit down a bit so you can see there that's not picked. Okay, so what happened over here is when I made this leg, I deleted, or the line there was deleted. So I'm going to have to redraw a separation. And then that way I can, I'm just going to choose something random for the fabric. I don't really like this, but we'll just choose it to begin with. So now there's a line there, so it didn't bleed into the rest of the object. Okay. And so I would just want to make sure, see, I missed these sides of my legs. So let's go back to the wood that I had. Make sure they're all picked. Okay, good. So now let's figure out the rest of this chair. Let's pick a better fabric. I don't know. I don't really like any of these. That's not bad. It's kind of modern. Okay, so I'm just going to go around and I'm going to attach this to all of the fabric sides. And that's my chair. Now you'll notice that also here I was missing a line. So I need to separate that off and then go back to my wood. So this can be a little time consuming. I wouldn't go to the process of adding stuff like this unless you absolutely needed to. Let's do, is there a black fabric? Let's make this. Now let's charcoal. We'll go charcoal underneath. Okay. So that's my chair done. Okay. So when I select out here, whoops, select out here, look at that. All of them are done. And remember, we did make this one unique. So I would have to go back and do that separately. Okay. But it's a neat little tool to add some more effects to your models, depending on what it is that you're trying to model. It makes it look a little nicer, a little more realistic. You know, maybe this should have, maybe the restaurant would have a floor. And let's find a nice tile. That kind of looks like a diner. Let's see what that looks like. Yeah, that's not bad. Okay, again, there's no wrong answer here. It's just we're playing around right now. Oh, one thing I noticed, so that's funny. All of my tables and chairs or my chairs anyway, are actually piercing the ground. So we would want to select like this and move them so that the feet are on the ground. See, these are things you might not realize until after you start to put it together in more detail. So see, I can just grab that and I can move it from the base of the chair up to there. Now they're on the ground. Okay. Let's see what this tile looks like. Not bad. I don't know. Charcoal. That's better. Okay, so I'm going to leave it like that, but you can see that with the paint bucket tool, we can start adding things like colors and textures. If I wanted to just paint these colors and not actual textures, we could go back in there, and there is actually a section called colors, and it has every color imaginable in the rainbow. Okay, so if I wanted, like, I don't know, lime green tabletops, I could select that and make my tables lime green. Okay. All right. In the next video, we're going to actually look at adding notes and dimensions to your drawings, which is an important aspect of technical files, technical drawings.